What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Performance Vault. Today we're looking at 10 of Morgan Freeman's most inspiring performances. Whether he's a wise prisoner holding on to hope, a determined principal fighting for his students, or a detective trying to make sense of dark and broken worlds, Morgan Freeman brings a sense of strength, humanity, and wisdom to every role he plays. He's spent decades delivering performances that stay with audiences long after those credits roll. And with every role, he proves why he's considered one of the greatest actors of all time. Be sure to stick around until the end for some honorable mentions that absolutely deserve their spotlight. And as always, these performances are in no particular order, so please let us know your favorites down in the comments below. Let's get into it. Number 1. Street Smart. In 1987, Morgan Freeman surprised the world by playing his breakout role in Street Smart. At 49 years old, Freeman finally got the recognition he had been waiting for after decades in the industry. Having worked since the 60s, he had roles on stage with the Negro Ensemble Company, entertained kids as Easy Reader on The Electric Company from 1971 to 77, and appeared in various supporting movie and TV roles. But none of those made him a star. That all changed when Freeman took on the role of Fast Black, a dangerous and unpredictable Manhattan pimp. This low-budget drama, directed by Jerry Schatzberg, showed Freeman in one of his most intense performances of the 80s.
Hey, look, why don't you do me a favor, okay? Over to Chicken City, get me some real.
Freeman's portrayal of Fast Black was based on real people he saw in New York, and it felt very real on screen. His character could switch from being calm to scary in an instant, which led people to compare him to famous actors like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Critics highlighted intense moments, like when Fast Black threatens a woman with scissors, describing Freeman's performance as powerful and frightening. This earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. He would win prestigious awards like the LA Film Critics Association Award and the New York Film Critics Circle Award. Even though Street Smart didn't succeed at the box office, everyone who saw it agreed Freeman was a force to be reckoned with.
You look a little paler than usual, boy.
You play rough.
Well, it ain't all basketball and dishwashers out here. Move it out, Reg.
After Street Smart, he went on to star in famous movies like Lean on Me, Driving Miss Daisy, and Glory, all within just 2 years. Freeman has even said in some interviews that Fast Black was one of his favorite roles, and he wishes that he had won an Oscar for it. Number 2. Lean on Me. The movie Lean on Me tells the inspiring true story of Joe Louis Clark, a principal who took brave actions to turn around his struggling school. Directed by John G. Avildsen, it shares how Mr. Clark in the 1980s worked at Eastside High School in Paterson, New Jersey. He was known for walking through the halls with a baseball bat and bullhorn. His ways were pretty strict and sometimes controversial, but his care and dedication to his students was clear to everyone. This was Freeman's first big role as a lead in a studio movie.
I want all of you to take a good look at these people on the risers behind me.
Every word Joe Clark speaks in the film carries weight, whether he's praising a student, disciplining him, or reflecting on his own struggles. There's one scene that stands out above the rest. Mr. Clark stands on the school roof, surrounded by chaos, while the police threaten to arrest him. Freeman would play this moment with dignity, showing he would go anywhere for his students. Even the real Joe Clark later praised Freeman's performance as a perfect reflection of his personality and mission.
This is my new Dean of Security, Mr. William Wright. He will be my avenging angel as you teachers reclaim the halls.
Released in 1989, Lean on Me was a big moment for Morgan Freeman's career. At 51 years old, this was his first major leading role, and he was already showing the strong sense of authority and deep emotions that would make him famous. Now, despite having a small budget, the movie would make $31 million and become a classic among educators. Teachers and school leaders have watched it for years, showing it in classrooms, drawing inspiration from its stories and Freeman's powerful performance. Number 3. Glory. The movie Glory, directed by Edward Zwick, tells the story of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, one of the first African-American units to fight for the Union Army during the Civil War. While Denzel Washington won the Oscar for his role as Private Tripp, Morgan Freeman also delivered an unforgettable performance as Sergeant Major John Rawlins. Rawlins stars as an older gravedigger who joins the regiment, but through hard work and wisdom, he earns the rank of senior non-commissioned officer. Freeman portrays him as a calm and dignified figure. Now, this role was very different from his passionate performance as Joe Clark in Lean on Me, showing how versatile he was as an actor in 1989.
What are you? So full of hate you just want to go out and fight everybody.
Rawlins stands out as the wise mentor and moral guide for the soldiers. He acts as a stabilizing force, balancing out Washington's impulsive character, Trip. Rawlins would show the men the value of discipline and unity. These traits are vital for surviving battles and injustices. He would rarely raise his voice, yet his presence was very commanding. A famous scene unfolds when Rawlins confronts Trip and reminds him that this fight is theirs too, telling him there's gonna come a time when we all gonna have to ante up and kick it like men. Like men!
Ante up and kick in like men. Like men! You watch who you call a nigger.
Even though Freeman's performance can sometimes feel overshadowed by Washington's powerful role, glory just wouldn't have worked without Rawlins' steadying presence in every scene. Freeman made Rawlins feel real and relatable. He showed the pain and dignity of men who fought not just for freedom, but for respect. Number 4. Driving Miss Daisy. Directed by Bruce Beresford, Driving Miss Daisy is based on Alfred Uhry's Pulitzer Prize-winning 1987 play. Freeman plays Hoke Colburn, a black chauffeur hired to drive Daisy Worthen, an elderly Jewish widow played by Jessica Tandy. Now, the story spans over 25 years, from 1948 to 73, showing how these two very different people form a complex bond. Freeman had already played Hoke on stage during the play's off-Broadway run, but the film took his performance to a new level. Hoke is kind and calm. He lives in the segregated South and faces many challenges. Daisy doesn't respect him at first, but he stays patient.
You're speeding, I can see it.
No, Miss Daisy, no. We're only doing about 19 miles an hour.
I like to go under the speed limit.
Yeah.
Freeman brings dignity and strength to the character, showing how Hoke refuses to be diminished by the prejudice around him. His patience with Daisy is a key part of the story, as their relationship slowly evolves from employer-employee to something much deeper. It's no surprise that Driving Miss Daisy won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actress for Jessica Tandy. Freeman himself was nominated for Best Actor, though he lost to Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot.
Hoke,
Yes.
you're my best friend.
No, go on now, Miss Daisy.
No,
You
really.
Over the years, this film had sparked critical debate. Some would argue that it downplays the harsh realities of segregation to focus on the friendship between Hoke and Daisy. Freeman had addressed these critiques openly, admitting that they did have merit, while also defending the movie as an honest portrayal of a unique relationship. Now, the truth could lie in both views. What's undeniable, though, is Freeman's exceptional performance. Number 5. Unforgiven. In the 1992 movie Unforgiven, Morgan Freeman plays Ned Logan, a retired outlaw who's drawn back into danger and violence. Directed by Clint Eastwood, the movie tells a dark story set in the town of Big Whiskey, Wyoming. Ned is the loyal friend of Eastwood's character, William Money, and together they set out to claim a bounty on 2 cowboys who committed a brutal crime. Now, right from the start, you can see that Ned is not the man he used to be. He's older, wiser, and weary of the violent life he left behind.
I ain't gonna hold it against her. She knew me back then. She knew.
What makes Freeman's portrayal stand out here is how real and human it does feel. Ned is not the fearless gunslinger you might expect in a Western. Instead, he's hesitant and full of regret. There's a moment where he has to face the reality of killing someone, and you see how much it shakes him. He admits that he no longer has the stomach for violence. This moment was a turning point in the film. There's a famous scene when Ned is captured and brutally whipped by Gene Hackman's character, the ruthless sheriff of Big Whiskey. It's a scene that stays with you, not just for the violence, but for its impact on the story. Ned's death is a tragic reminder of his values. It shows how violence affects everyone it touches. Freeman's performance, from his quiet farewell to money to his fading confidence, deepens his loss. He serves as the movie's moral center, and his fate drives the story to its devastating conclusion.
I'm gonna hurt you. Not gentle like before.
Unforgiven won Best Picture and Best Director at the 1993 Academy Awards, and it is seen as one of the greatest Western films ever made. Freeman's role as Ned Logan was a big part of its success. This was the first of 3 movies Freeman worked on with Clint Eastwood. Their partnership would have become one of the most memorable in movie history, leading to other famous films like $1 Million Baby in 2004 and Invictus in 2009. Number 6. The Shawshank Redemption. Directed by Frank Darabont, The Shawshank Redemption is based on Stephen King's 1982 novella, Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. Morgan Freeman plays Ellis Boyd Red Redding. Now, interestingly, in the original story, Red was written as a white Irish-American man. The book even has him saying, "Maybe it's because I'm Irish." Despite this, Darabont cast Freeman in the role and kept the line as a humorous nod. Red serves as the narrator and a key character in the movie. Freeman's calm voiceover guides the audience, telling the story of Andy Dufresne's life behind bars, while connecting all the moving parts of the film.
One day, when I got a long white beard and 2 or 3 marbles rolling around upstairs, they let me out.
When the movie was first released in theaters in 1994, it wasn't a big hit. It only made about $16 million in its initial theatrical run on a $25 million budget, and it eventually reached around $28 million worldwide after a re-release. But The Shawshank Redemption found a second life through home video rentals and frequent rebroadcasts on TV through the late 90s and early 2000s. Over time, it gained a massive following, and today it's ranked as the #1 movie on IMDb's user-voted list, and is considered one of the greatest films in American cinema. Freeman's performance is the film's emotional backbone. His portrayal of Red, especially in the parole board scenes that show the passing of 30 years, is unforgettable.
Folks who run this joint love surprise inspections. They find it, you're gonna lose it.
The ending of the movie is one of the most emotional moments of Freeman's character. Red finally meets Andy again on the beach in Zihuatanejo, bringing the story of hope and redemption to a perfect conclusion. Freeman's acting truly shows the depth of his character. However, despite his amazing performance, Freeman did not win an Oscar for this role. That year, the award went to Martin Landau for his role in Ed Wood. Number 7. Seven. The tense atmosphere of David Fincher's Seven draws you in from the very beginning. The story follows 2 detectives, Lieutenant William Somerset, played by Morgan Freeman, and Detective Mills, played by Brad Pitt, as they chase a serial killer whose crimes are tied to the 7 deadly sins. Only 7 days away from retirement, Somerset is worn down by the horrors he has seen through his long career. Yet instead of becoming bitter, he carries himself with wisdom and calmness. He moves through the chaos like a man who has learned the hard way how to stay calm in it. Whether it's when he's carefully looking through books in the library, or the steady rhythm of the metronome helping his focus, Somerset stands out.
Sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. 7.
Morgan Freeman just brings a depth and uniqueness to his role of Somerset. While the movie has its shocking moments, Somerset stays calm and steady. Freeman uses small expressions and actions to show Somerset's personality. Now, his scenes with Brad Pitt's character, Detective Mills, adds a very interesting mix of perspectives to the story. Mills is eager, emotional, and impulsive, while Somerset balances that with experience and caution. Together, they keep you torn between hope and despair, wondering which way the case will break. The climax of Seven is hard to forget. What is in that box? The scene in the desert shows the shocking truth of the killer's final crime. It leaves the characters and the audience stunned. At the end, Freeman's narration ties everything together. He quotes Hemingway, saying, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for."
The movie was a big hit, making $327 million while only costing $33 million. It helped prove that David Fincher is an amazing director and how talented Morgan Freeman really is. Number 8. Million Dollar Baby. The emotional and tragic film directed by Clint Eastwood, Million Dollar Baby would earn Morgan Freeman his very first Academy Award, after being nominated 3 times in the past. Earlier nods were for his roles in Street Smart, Driving Miss Daisy, and The Shawshank Redemption, but it would be his role as Eddie Scrap Iron Dupree that won him the Best Supporting Actor Award. Eddie, or Scrap as he's called, is a former boxer who now works as a caretaker in Frankie Dunn's gym. Freeman acts as the film's narrator and moral guide. His calm and steady voice once again draws viewers into the lives of Frankie Dunn, played by Clint Eastwood, and Maggie Fitzgerald, played by Hilary Swank.
Maggie walked through that door with nothing but guts. No chance in the world of being what she needed to be. A year and a half later, she's fighting for the championship of the world.
At the 2005 Academy Awards, Million Dollar Baby swept the big categories, taking home Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, and of course, Best Supporting Actor. Freeman's portrayal of Scrap is a man who knows the pain that boxing can bring. He lost an eye in the ring himself, and he watches Frankie and Maggie's relationship grow with a mix of warm affection and a sense of caution, understanding what the sport demands from those who choose it.
Anybody can lose one fight. Anybody can lose one, son. You'll come back from this. You'll be champion of the world.
The movie's final act, involving Maggie's devastating injury and her difficult decision, started a national debate in 2004 and 2005. Freeman's presence in these moments showed empathy without any judgment. His calm performance would keep the story grounded and let the weight of the choice speak for itself. Now, Freeman said winning the Oscar for this role was not just about playing Scrap. It was also about honoring his career of over 40 years. At 67, he accepted the award with grace and showed why he is one of the greatest actors ever. Number 9. Amistad. Directed by Steven Spielberg, the '97 film Amistad tells the story of the 1839 revolt on the Spanish slave ship La Amistad. It follows a legal battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court, ultimately securing freedom for the African captives. Morgan Freeman plays Theodore Jodson, a fictional abolitionist who adds deep emotional weight to the film. Although Jodson is not based on a real person, his character represents African American abolitionists of the time. A former slave turned educated businessman, Jodson's involvement in the case is both personal and political, as he fights to free the captives from slavery. As Freeman plays Jodson, his performance captures a man navigating the complex legal system while understanding the stakes for those involved. His background as a former slave gives him a perspective that the white characters around him can't fully grasp. Jodson would serve as the moral anchor, representing the emotional reality of slavery. Critics praised his ability to portray Jodson with dignity and composure. Jodson's role connects the enslaved Africans to the white legal system, often through his quiet moments with Cinque, the leader of the revolt, played by Jamon Hunsu.
I'm sorry to question this witness.
Get us free!
Though Amistad only made $44 million compared to its $36 million budget, it was still praised by critics and did receive 4 Academy Award nominations. Freeman's role in the movie is sometimes overlooked when people talk about his career. However, his performance in Amistad shows his dedication to taking on meaningful projects that highlight African American history and experiences. This passion can also be seen in other parts of his career, like in Glory and Invictus, as well as numerous documentaries he's worked on about American history. Number 10. Invictus. In the 2009 film Invictus, Freeman delivers a performance that felt like it was decades in the making. Directed by Clint Eastwood, the movie tells the inspiring story of Nelson Mandela's efforts to unite a divided South Africa during the '95 Rugby World Cup. It turns out that Mandela himself, years before the film, had pointed to Freeman as the actor he believed should portray him on screen. Mandela repeated this belief in interviews throughout the '90s. Freeman took the responsibility seriously, working on the project for years and acquiring the rights to John Carlin's book, Playing the Enemy, to base the film on. Now, the film zooms in on a small but powerful moment from Mandela's presidency. It captures his controversial decision to back the national rugby team, the Springboks. This team was long associated with apartheid-era African air pride. Mandela believed that this gesture could bring the divided nation together in a way that words could not. Freeman, portraying Mandela, would work alongside Matt Damon, who played Francois Pienaar, the captain of the team. The interplay between the two characters showed how Mandela strategically used sports as a tool for unity, even when the odds were stacked against him.
It was in Posisikilele, Africa. A very inspiring song.
Freeman studied Mandela extensively, spending time with him and watching hours of footage to truly mimic the leader's mannerisms. Freeman even adopted Mandela's unique physicality, the way he walked, his gentle movements, and his tendency to avoid using his left hand. These details created a portrayal so honest that everyone was amazed. Mandela himself was said to approve of how Freeman represented him.
You must know that your country supports you completely. Good luck to you.
The role earned Freeman his 5th Academy Award nomination for Best Actor and multiple other recognitions, like a Golden Globe nomination and a National Board of Review award. Critics applauded how Freeman captured Mandela's warmth as a leader and his sharp skills as a strategist. While some felt the rugby-centered plot limited the film's scope, Freeman's performance stood out as one of the truest cinematic portrayals of Mandela. It's really hard to sum up Morgan Freeman's career without leaving something out. These performances are so iconic that each one could shine on its own story. The Electric Company, 1971 to 77. Morgan Freeman showcased his talent early on in the educational series The Electric Company, which aired on PBS. He played Easy Reader, who encouraged children across America to develop a love for reading. Over 6 seasons, this role would become one of his most widely seen performances. Deep Impact, 1998. In the disaster movie Deep Impact, directed by Mimi Leder, Freeman plays the role of President Tom Beck. The film tells the story of a comet headed towards Earth. Freeman's character delivers reassuring speeches to calm the nation during a crisis, and his portrayal of the president left such a strong impression that it kind of became the model for every future president he would play on screen. Bruce Almighty, 2003. In the comedy Bruce Almighty, directed by Tom Shadyac, Freeman plays the role of God. Starring alongside Jim Carrey, who plays a frustrated TV reporter, Freeman's version of God is kind and funny, bringing light and humor to his character. This role has to be one of his most popular comedic performances. The Bucket List, 2007. In this movie, Freeman plays Carter Chambers, a man with a terminal illness. Directed by Rob Reiner, the film follows Carter and another patient, played by Jack Nicholson. They leave the hospital to complete a list of things they want to do before they die. The movie was such a big hit partly because of the great chemistry between the two actors. Gone Baby Gone, 2007. This movie was Ben Affleck's first time directing a film. Freeman plays Captain Jack Doyle, a Boston police captain. His character is full of moral challenges, and one of the biggest twists in the movie comes from him. The role shows Freeman's skill in creating deep and complex characters. The Dark Knight Trilogy, 2005 to 12. Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy is a fan favorite. Freeman plays Lucius Fox, a smart and reliable technologist at Wayne Enterprises. He helps out Bruce Wayne by providing all those cool gadgets to use as Batman. Freeman's role would add a lot of warmth and wisdom to the stories. He is a steady presence across all 3 films in this iconic series. March of the Penguins, 2005. This amazing wildlife documentary by Luc Jacquet was brought to life through Freeman's soothing narration. His voice made the American version of the film especially memorable for English-speaking audiences. The documentary was a huge success, winning an Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature and earning more than $127 million worldwide. Through the Wormhole, 2010 to 17. This Science Channel series was hosted and narrated by Freeman for 8 seasons. It became one of the biggest projects later in his career, and it showcased his incredible storytelling skills. The show would explore some of the deepest questions about the universe, making it a perfect match for Freeman's well-known voice and curious spirit. And that brings us to the end of our video. Thanks for sticking around, and please let us know in the comments which actor you want us to cover next. If you had a good time and you're new to the channel, subscribe and press that bell icon so you know when we upload our next video. Take care, and we'll see you next time.